Yeah.
Why not? Let's get started on our warm-up. We'll do this real fast, and then we'll jump right into our lesson today. Okay, this warm-up is always a good way to review for the test too, because a lot of stuff that's in this warm-up will be on the test. Not everything, but a lot. Okay, all right. The first word we have is decide. What can we say with decide?
To quick.
To, right? Infinitive. Next one, past tense question. So what do we say?
Did Mr. Smith sell?
Did sell, right? Simple present. Sorry, simple past, did, and base form. The next one says for the last hour.
Today it has been raining.
Has been raining, right? Started in the present, continues to now. Here's one that's definitely on the level 4 test, and I think level 5 and 6 too. Past perfect, right?
Yes.
By the time my father came home.
Had already gone.
Exactly, got to have that had. Oops. Had, there we go. Had already gone. My typing is terrible today. All right, there we go. The next one says for many years. Again, we're going to use a perfect tense, right? So my parents have known. Have known the mayor for many years. Okay. The next one. The next one, look at the form over here. I wouldn't have stayed home. I wouldn't have stayed home if I had felt well, right? Or we could say had been feeling, but it needs to be past perfect, right? I wouldn't have stayed home if I had felt well. All right. Hello, Jareen.
Hi.
Welcome. All right. The next one, we have there. So should we say there was or there were?
There were.
There were, because we have to look at that noun, right? The noun is students, so we need a plural verb. Supposed.
Yes.
Supposed uses infinitive or gerund?
Infinitive.
Infinitive, right? They were supposed to tell me. How about try? Gerund or infinitive?
Infinitive.
Infinitive. Could be both, but in this case we want infinitive because it's a goal, right? When you have a goal, you say, I'm trying to. Let's see. Not yet. What can we say for not yet?
I haven't
made anything for breakfast yet today. Haven't made. The next one is about yesterday. So it sounds like past again. Did, right? Okay. It's hard.
To improve.
To improve. Again, we want our infinitive when we have it is. The next one, we have that keyword by Elvis Presley. So what are we going to say? That song
was sung.
Was sung. Exactly. Past tense, passive. Number 14, not so fancy, is just good old simple past, right? So he wanted, exactly. Past tense, regular verb. The next one, we have now, so sounds like present continuous, right?
Are the students practicing?
Are the students practicing their lessons now? Are practicing. The next one, if I the dishes, my sister is going to sweep the floor. We have the if, but we have a future over here. My sister is going to sweep the floor. So what are we going to say? If I
wash.
Remember, the if is going to be either simple present or simple past, right? Those are the, or past perfect. Those are the three choices. Simple present, simple past, past perfect. In this case, simple present. Ever is the next one.
Has.
Has, right. Has your favorite team ever won the World Series? Has won, present perfect. Now the next one, again, we have to read carefully about the conditional. It says would go. So what could we say? If Sam
Didn't.
well, but
Oh,
B
no,
is a special case, right?
Yeah, wasn't.
Wasn't.
Can we say wasn't or weren't?
Weren't.
Remember, if I were you, if I were you, right? If I were king of the world, if I were older, if I were younger, right? Always were with if. That's remember in informal English, people say was all the time, to be honest. But proper grammar, if I were you. All right. The next one says not until next Monday. All right. So what are we going to say? We will. We will.
Find.
We will find out the results of the exam next Monday. Future. Now the next one has a thing as the subject. Jackets and ties. So what can we say here?
Are.
Right. Are usually
Worn.
worn. Are usually worn by most businessmen. Let's see. As soon as you, we will go. Remember, as soon as? As soon as is a time clause, and this is a time clause for the future. So what kind of verb?
Good.
Simple present. Simple present, right? Remember, we never use will in a time clause. We always use simple present or simple past. All right, let's see. The next one says for the past few weeks. For the past few weeks.
Haven't used.
We haven't
been using.
Either one, haven't used or haven't been using. I like both. All right, the next one, no subject. What are we going to do?
Living. Jerry.
Jared, exactly. Living in Washington, D.C. will be a great experience. Living. The next one, I am in ghosts. What can we say here?
I don't believe.
I don't believe. How long? What can we say for how long?
Have you had?
Have you had? Okay. Problemas? Questions? No. Everybody happy? Good. That was nice and fast. All right. Good. All right. Now, today we're going to talk about putting, it's a review lesson, but we haven't talked about it since I think like January. So it's been a while. And I'm not sure if you talked about it with Ms. Aguirre or not this semester, but we have already learned all of our modals, right? Can, could, shall, should, may, might, must. But in level 1 and level 2 and level 3 and level 4, we've been using modals in the base form, right? But today I want to talk about using modals in past, using modals in past. And I want to have a little, we're going to watch a little video a little later. We're going to do some discussion. And we're going to talk about how to use a modal in past tense, right? Because it's going to be a little bit different grammar than we use the modals in the present. And we have to think about the meaning a little bit too. So I am going to, let me see here. I'm going to start my presentation here. Okay, let me see. All right. All right. Can everybody see the slides?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect modals, past situations with modals.
Yes. Mhm.
All right. We haven't talked about this for a while, so it's worth repeating. I think it's in our ventures. It's in the Ventures 4 book and it's in the Ventures Transition book, but it's in different chapters. So I'll have to tell you which chapters a little later if you want to look at it in the book. But let's talk about it together here. Let's talk first about the form. Right? Remember, what is the form we're going to use in a usual modal? We use a base verb, right? He should go. He must go. He can go. He should go, right? Etc. But here, we want to use the same pattern. Modal have past participle. Modal have past participle. We've seen this before with our past tense conditional, right? When we say, I would have eaten the cake if I had known it was in the refrigerator, right? I would have eaten the cake. Well, here, instead of would have, we're using may have, might have, could have, should have, must have. All right? So let's talk about it a little bit here. Or here's your negative. Remember, the negative with the modal goes with the modal, not with the have. You don't say haven't. You say shouldn't have, couldn't have, may not have, might not have, past participle. Let's look at some examples. I should have stayed home today. I'm feeling sick. I should have stayed home. Should have, past participle. I don't have my textbook. I must have left it at home. Must have, past participle. Jeremy might have taken notes yesterday. I will ask him about it. Might have taken. Leah was lucky to be alive after the accident. She could have died. Let's investigate the meanings of all these forms. Let's look at them one by one by one. The one that we were introduced to in the level 4 book was should have and shouldn't have. Remember, should have and shouldn't have is always about a regret. Example, I shouldn't have bought this printer. It's too slow. So if I say I shouldn't have bought the printer, what does that mean? It means I bought the printer, but now I regret my decision. Everybody knows that word regret, right?
Yes.
I regret means when you feel bad after something happens, right? I regret it, right? I shouldn't have bought the printer. I bought the printer, and now I realize it was a mistake. This is not a good printer. I shouldn't have bought this printer. It was on sale, and I bought it, but now I get it home, and I say, oh, this is not a good printer. You should have been more polite talking to that customer. You should have been more polite. What does that mean? You talked to the customer and you were not very polite. I think you made a mistake. I'm telling you, you made a mistake. You shouldn't have been so rude. You should have been more polite. You were rude. You should have been polite. Peter should have called us when he knew he was running late. He should have called us. So what does that mean? It means he was running late, but he still didn't call. I think that was rude, right? I think Peter made a mistake. He should have called us. We don't like our new home. We shouldn't have moved. Again, what does that mean? We moved and we made a mistake. We moved and we made a mistake. We shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't have done that. Modal, have, past participle. The bus should have come 10 minutes ago. What is wrong? It should have come. I expected it to come, and it didn't. Yeah, here I'm not talking about a mistake. I'm talking about something I expected, but it didn't happen. I expected it, but it didn't happen. The bus should have come. What's wrong? What's wrong? We're all sitting here waiting for the bus. It should have come 10 minutes ago. Should have. Remember, this form is always the opposite of what really happened. All right, let's practice this a little bit. Let me go stop the share for a second. All right, everybody can turn on your microphones. We're going to do a little practice here. All right, I'm going to tell you some sentences about people who made mistakes. And I want you to tell me, here we go, my light was not on. There I am. Now you can see me. I'm going to tell you what they did, and I want you to tell me what they should have done. Okay? So for example, if I say, Henry didn't call me, we can say, he should have called me. Got the idea?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Alejandra, Melissa didn't put salt into the recipe. She didn't put salt into the recipe.
Okay. Melissa should have put salt in the recipe.
She should have put salt in the recipe. Good. Tomomi.
Yes.
Francisco didn't follow the safety regulations.
Francisco should have.
He didn't follow the safety regulations.
Oh.
Follow.
Francisco should have. Follow. Yeah, thank you. Follow.
Once you get past Francisco,
Yeah,
you get
it's
lost.
because the teacher thought
Yeah.
He
You
should.
say find the sentence.
He didn't follow safety
Didn't follow
regulations, right?
safety
He didn't
regulations.
follow
Mhm.
safety
Done.
regulations. So
Francisco should have followed the
The
safety regulations.
he should have followed the safety regulations. Excellent, excellent. All right, Jenny.
Yes,
All right.
teacher.
Maria didn't invite me to the party. Maria didn't invite me to the party.
She should invite me to the party, teacher.
One more time.
She should invite me to the party.
We need one more word. Should have invited.
She
Right?
should invite
Remember, should invite means in the future, but the party's over, right? The party's over.
Yes.
She didn't invite me. She should have invited me to the party. She should have invited me to the party. All right, good. Let's see. Jareen.
Yes.
Jose ate some spicy food and now he's sick.
Jose should have not eaten spicy food. Like
Other
now,
way, should not have eaten, right?
Yeah.
He should not have eaten that spicy food. He should not have eaten that spicy food, right? He ate it and now he feels sick. He
Yeah.
shouldn't have eaten the spicy food, right? It's just like present perfect and should put together, right? Except the not goes on the other side. Instead of saying should have not, I say shouldn't have. All right, Maria Polito.
Yes.
let's see. Felix didn't listen to his mother.
Felix should have listened to his mother.
That's right. Felix should have listened to his mother. Very good. And Saul, the driver didn't get gas before he left. The driver didn't get gas.
The driver should have
Should have gotten the gas. Right? Should have gotten the gas. Excellent. Right? And we had lessons like that in our level 4 book, if you remember. It was, let me just show them to you real fast, just to remind you. Let me see, where is it here? If you have a level 4 book, you can look at it after class, but I'm going to just show it to you, just so you remember. Let's see, here we go. Okay. And go back here and push this button. Yeah, if you have a level 4 book, you can find it on page 48. Right? Page 48. Right? Right? I don't like my job. I should have kept my old job. I shouldn't have changed jobs. Robert is late. He should have left the house earlier. He shouldn't have read the newspaper. Right? So if you want to look at it in the book, you can find it on page 48 of book 4. Yeah, it's page 48 in the Ventures 4 book. Okay? So if you want to check it out in the book later after class, there it is. Okay? We're not going to do the lesson in the book about it today, but there it is if you want to check it out. All right, because I have other things I want to talk about today too. So let me go back for a second. Let me go back for a second to our presentation. Let's see. Okay. All right, so we've already covered should have. All right, let's look at another one. Conclusions in the past, right? Remember, the word must in English has 2 functions in present. In present, we can use must for an obligation, right? You must sign the document today. But I can also use must for a conclusion. I say, oh, Jose walks to school every day. He must live close to the school, right? A conclusion. Well, in the past, we only use must for one reason, for conclusion, right? We use must or must not to indicate a conclusion about what probably happened in the past. I'm not sure, but what probably happened. We don't have proof, but we have good evidence for thinking so. We have good evidence. All right? Example. I have looked everywhere in my house for my wallet, but I can't find it here. I must have left it at the office. I think so. Probably. Right? Must have is like saying probably. I must have left it at the office. I think so. Probably. You must have been proud when your son graduated. You must have been proud. Right? You must have felt wonderful when that day came. Peter didn't turn around when I called his name. He must not have heard me. He must not have heard me. Probably not, right? I don't know. He would have turned around if he had heard me. So he must not have heard me. He must not have heard me. Remember, this indicates my best guess about what probably happened. My best guess about what probably happened. Must and must not. All right? Good. Let's practice this one a little bit. All right. Put those microphones on. Let's practice again. All right. This time, we're going to talk about conclusions. So I'm going to tell you some evidence. You're going to put on your detective hat, and you're going to say, what probably happened? For example, let's say there's a big hole in my front yard. There's a big hole in my front yard. It wasn't there yesterday. What happened? I suppose an animal must have dug that hole. Right? Right? I see a hole in the yard. I say, what happened? ¿Qué pasó? An animal must have dug the hole. Right? Conclusion. Must or must not? Okay, good. Let me start with Jareen this time.
Yeah.
Jareen, I was working and I heard a big crash outside. What happened? Probably.
Get my apron.
The car must have driven so fast.
That could be, but if I hear a crash, I'll say, that must have been, somebody must have had an accident, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody must have had an accident outside. That's what the crash was, right? I hear a loud crash outside my door on the street. I say, somebody must have just had an accident. I didn't see it, but that's what my conclusion is. Somebody must have had an accident outside. Must have had an accident. Okay, Maria Polito.
Yes, teacher.
Let's see, I wake up this morning and I look outside and the grass is wet, the street is wet, the cars are wet, everything is wet. What is my conclusion?
It must have rained.
It must have rained last night, right? I was sleeping at the time. I didn't see it rain. I didn't hear it rain, but I see the evidence in front of me this morning. It must have rained last night.
Last night.
All right, Saul.
Okay.
I'll give you one that is very relevant for this week. The shopkeeper goes to his store and he sees that the window is broken. What does he say? Aha!
She must have I don't know what verb I need to use.
Well, what conclusion can you make if there's a protest going on and you come to your shop and your window is broken? What can you say? Who did it, probably? Who probably did it?
Manifestant.
Right, well, what we call protesters. Protesters must
The protest must have broken
the window, right?
the window.
If I go to my shop this morning and I see my window is broken, I say, oh my goodness, protesters must have broken my window last night. Protesters must have broken my window last night. They must have broken it because there's a lot of people breaking windows. Ugh. And somebody must have broken it. How are things where you live, Tomomi, down by Little Tokyo? Is okay or feels dangerous?
Some stores are looted.
A little scared.
Yeah, a shoe shop on the pharmacy.
Oh
It's,
boy.
yeah, broken.
Oh boy. Yeah, I bet your mother is very worried, huh?
Mhm.
I bet, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. Jenny, are you ready? Oh, Jenny's leaving. Okay, bye, Jenny. All right, Tomomi, we'll try you.
Okay.
Let's see. I live with one roommate, and I had a piece of chocolate cake in the refrigerator, and I came home and the chocolate cake is missing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. My roommate must have eaten my chocolate cake.
He is the only one that we can get blamed for that problem, right? The roommate must have eaten the cake, right? Again, I don't know for sure, but I think so, right? That's what you use must have. When you feel pretty confident, though you're not 100% sure. You have a high level of confidence. All right, let's see. Alejandro.
Yes.
Let's see. I woke up this morning and I was driving down the street and I saw in one of the houses in my neighborhood, there were a lot of empty beer cans in the front yard.
Oh.
What probably happened last night?
My neighbor must have to had a party.
He must have had a party, right? Yeah, my neighbor, that neighbor must have had a party last night.
Yes.
That's why all those beer cans are in the front yard, right?
Yes.
He must have had a party, right? That's when we use must. We see some evidence and we make a conclusion. We see some evidence and we make a conclusion, right? If you're not sure, you're not going to say must, right? Must is like, I think I know what happened, right? Think of the detective when you think of must, right? The detective looks at the evidence and he says, aha, this person must have done the crime, right? Because look, he's got fingerprints and the fingerprints are there, right? I didn't see the crime happen, but I see the evidence. So it must have been him. It must have been him. All right. So should have, you made a mistake. Must have, I think this is what happened, right? I think this is what happened. Okay, let's continue. Back to the presentation. Let's see, back to the presentation. Here we go. All right. All right, we've already done our conclusions. Let's go to the next one. Past possibilities. When you're not so sure, right? When we are less certain about what happened, we can use may or might or could to indicate that maybe the action happened. So you're much less certain when you use may and might and could, right? In fact, you're not really sure at all, right? If you say may, it's like 70% sure. If you say might, 50-50. Could, no idea. No idea what could have happened. Right, let's look at some examples. Why did Lucy drop out of school? To be honest, I don't know. She may have found a job, or she might have transferred to another school, or she could have thought that the material was too difficult. I just don't know why. I just don't know why she dropped out. I don't know. Right? See, our little man is very confused. Doesn't know. What is it? I don't know. It's a question. It's a mystery. Right? These forms are the same as saying maybe with simple past tense. maybe with simple past tense. It's the same idea. Okay? May have, might have, could have. They are más o menos the same. Más o menos the same. All right, let's practice this one a little bit. All right, I'm going to stop the share. Stop share. There we go. Okay, I'm going to ask you a past tense question, and you'll have no idea about the answer. So you can only guess. And how can you guess? May have, might have, could have. May have, might have, could have. Okay? You ready?
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Alejandra. When did Maria and Jose get married? Say, I don't know. I don't know. So
They may have married when they go to vacation.
they may have gotten married on their vacation, okay? Or they may have gotten married 3 years ago, or they could have gotten married in 1952. I don't know, right? I don't know. May have gotten married. All right, Karine.
Yes.
What do you think Alejandra ate for breakfast today?
I don't know. She might have bread for breakfast.
But let's use past tense. She might have
Had.
had bread. She might have had bread. All right. Is true, Alejandra?
Yes.
You had bread? Correct. Good
Yes.
guess. Good guess, Jerry. All right. All right. Let's see. Maria Pulido.
Yes.
What time did Tomomi go to bed last night?
I don't know. She might have woke up at 6.
But what time did she go to bed?
Oh, bed. I don't know. I don't know. She might have gone to bed at 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock. Very early. All right. Did you go to bed at 8 o'clock, Tomomi?
No.
No. It's a little bit early.
Yeah.
What time did you go to bed?
I went to bed 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Wow. Stay up. You are a late night girl, a night owl. You are a night owl. Okay. That's like
FaceTime.
that's like my daughter. She'll stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning, and then she'll sleep until lunchtime.
No.
that's
My son
that's my
too.
daughter's schedule. Right? Stay up late. I said,
Yeah.
go to bed early and get up early, right?
Yeah.
But the famous Benjamin Franklin, you know Benjamin Franklin, the famous man of American Revolution. He had a phrase. He says, early to bed, early to rise, makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Right? Early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Right? Everyone knows healthy, right?
Yes.
You know wealthy,
Yeah.
rich, right?
Yeah.
And wise.
Wise.
Right.
Wise in Spanish is sabio, right?
Sabio.
I don't know what it is in Japanese. Wise. That's a good question.
Wise. Means it's a smart.
It's kind of like smart, but like smart mean like wise means you're smart about life. Right? So you maybe, like, for example, you say, oh, my grandfather didn't have an education, but he was a very wise man.
Maybe Japanese is賢い.
Kaskoi. Okay. Sounds good. I'll have to ask my somebody who knows about life is wise. All right. Anyway, so there's a expression you can remember: early to bed, early to rise, make somebody healthy, wealthy, and wise. That's a little poem from Benjamin Franklin. All right. So Tomomi went to bed at midnight. All right. Let's see. Tomomi, I'll ask you a question about Saul. What did Saul do on Saturday night?
Saul might have watched Netflix last
Might have watched
Saturday.
Netflix. What is true, Saul?
You're right.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have very many choices, right?
Oh.
We can't go to the movies. We can't go dancing. We're just watching TV. That's right. All right. All right, Saul, I will ask you one question. Let's see. Saul, what did what did Jareen do after class yesterday? Oh, yesterday. What did she do after class yesterday?
I don't know, but she might have gone to her job.
She might have gone to her job. Is that true, Jareen?
No,
No. What did you do after class yesterday?
I always do like my investment and stuff.
Okay, very good. Now, Jareen, but you said you were going to start your job, right?
I will, yeah. But right now we have situation. I don't think so that will open because outlet they have many ban. They worry. What is?
Yeah, because of the trouble, huh? Okay, yeah. Everybody stay home, stay safe, right?
Yeah.
Let's have English class all day long. Maybe not. All right, good. No problems, everybody? May have. So may have, might have, could have, right? May have, might have, could have. All right. Now, let's look at some variations in this that I want to talk about. Let's take a look. Okay. That one's done. Let's go to the next slide here. Missed opportunities. Now, when we want to talk about I had an opportunity, but I missed it. I had an opportunity, but I missed it. What do we say in that case? Could have. Could have. It could have happened. Right? We've seen this in our past modals too, right? Something could have happened. Right? Or indicate something almost happened. Example. My younger cousin dropped out of school because of his finances. It was such a shame. He could have been a doctor, right? But he missed his chance. He missed his chance. He could have been a doctor. He could have been a doctor. Could have been. Right? He had a chance, but he missed his chance. He had a chance, but he missed his chance. Right? It was foolish to skateboard on that busy street. You're lucky nobody hit you with a car. You could have gotten hurt. You could have gotten hurt. Right? Could have gotten. Did it happen? No. But it was possible. It was possible. It didn't happen, but it was possible. Be careful. Now we have two different ways to use could in the past. I could swim when I was a kid. Remember this from this was in level 2, right? Past ability. I could swim when I was a kid. I had the talent. I had the ability. I could. Past ability, right? On the other hand, I could have swum at the party, but I didn't have my swimsuit. Missed opportunity. Right? You see the difference? Could swim is just about your ability. Could have swum is about your opportunity. Right? I had a chance to swim, but I couldn't. I couldn't go swimming. I could have swum, but I didn't have my swimsuit. I could have swum, but I didn't have my swimsuit. If I had had my swimsuit, I could have swum at the party. I could have swum at the party, but I didn't have my swimsuit. I missed the chance. I missed the chance to swim. Right? Could swim, that's only about your ability. I have the talent. I took the swimming lessons. I knew how to swim. I could swim when I was a kid. Could have swum at the party. Could have swum at the party. I had the chance. Okay. Negative. Let's talk about negative. When we talk about negative possibilities in past, might not have, may not have are similar, but couldn't have indicates that the action was impossible. Couldn't have means something's impossible. Let me give you some examples. Why didn't Luis go to the soccer game? I don't know. He might not have the time. He might not have had the time. Maybe he didn't have time. Maybe he didn't. Right? So possibility, but in negative. I think I saw Julio at the soccer game. He couldn't have gone to the game. He was with me all day. He didn't have the opportunity to go to the game, right? He couldn't have gone to the game. He didn't have the chance. He didn't have the opportunity. It's impossible. It was impossible for him to go to the game. I couldn't have done it. It would have been impossible. So I couldn't do it and I couldn't have done it are similar but not the same. I couldn't do it means what? I tried and I failed. I tried and I failed. I couldn't pass the test. Right? I couldn't have done it means I didn't have the opportunity. I didn't have the opportunity. Right? I couldn't have gone to the game with you because I was working. I couldn't have gone. Don't worry about it. All right, are you ready for some practice? Microphones on, please. Turn those microphones on. Let's see how smart you are. Can you change these sentences into a perfect modal? What are the perfect modals we have? Should have, must have, may have, might have, could have. 5, right? 5 perfect modals. There's also would have, but we're not practicing that today, right? May have, might have, must have, could have, should have. 5. All right, let's see if we can use. So which of the 5 do we want to use? Maybe Victor sold his car. What's another way to say that?
Victor may have sold
sold his car.
Okay. So Victor, what?
Might
Have sold the car.
sold.
Right? Victor might have sold the car. He might have sold the car. He might have sold the car. I regret that I didn't go to the concert. I regret that I didn't go to the concert. I have a regret.
I should have gone to the concert.
Excellent. I should have gone to the concert. Good job, Tomomi. You have eaten your smart breakfast today. I should have gone to the concert. I missed a chance to win the match. Missed a chance to win the match. I had an opportunity to win, but I didn't do it. I had a chance, but I missed my opportunity.
I could
I could have
won.
I could have won the match. Exactly. I could have won the match. I had a chance, but I missed it. I had a chance, I had an opportunity, but I didn't do it. I could have won that match. I really could have won. I had a chance, but I didn't do it. Louisa probably didn't understand my question. Louisa probably didn't understand my question.
Louisa
may not have understood
my
my
question.
question.
Do you like might not or must not in this one?
Might not.
Oh,
Must not.
must not.
Remember, when you feel like probably it happened, we want to use must, right? It's the difference between maybe and probably, right? Probably it must have happened that way. Maybe it might have happened that way, right? So Luis must not have understood. I think so. I think so. All right, let's try some more. Here we go. Maybe Jason didn't do his homework. Maybe he didn't do his homework.
Jason
May not have done his homework.
Might not have done, right? Jason might not have done the homework, or may not. May not, might not, same thing, right? May not, might not, same thing. May not have done, might not have done. Next one. I regret buying that computer. Big mistake.
I shouldn't
I
have bought that computer.
I shouldn't have bought the computer.
About the computer.
I shouldn't have bought that computer. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Maybe Frank took my pencil. Maybe Frank took my pencil.
Must have took my
Might
pencil.
not have
Frank may have taken my pencil.
Might have taken, right? Or may have taken. Remember, may and might and could are the same in affirmative. May have, might have, could have. They all mean maybe. Frank might have taken my pencil. Could have taken my pencil. Probably Vanessa bought these groceries. Probably Vanessa brought these groceries.
Vanessa
Must have bought
these
these
groceries.
groceries.
Exactly. Vanessa must have bought the groceries. Must have bought. Must have bought. I think so. That's my conclusion. It must have been Vanessa. I almost got hit by the train. Oh my goodness. It almost happened, but it didn't. It almost happened.
I'm
What do you think? May have gotten, might have gotten, could have gotten, should have gotten,
I could have
could have gotten.
I could.
Exactly.
Oh,
I could have gotten. It was possible, but it didn't happen. I could have gotten hit by that train. Right? Remember, you could have died in that accident. I could have died. It was a very dangerous situation. I could have died. I didn't, but I could have. It was possible. All right, last one. I made a mistake when I didn't eat my breakfast. What could we say there?
I should have eaten.
I think
Shouldn't
so.
have eaten breakfast.
I should have eaten breakfast.
breakfast.
I should have eaten breakfast. I made a mistake. I should have eaten. I should have eaten. And here's poor Grumpy. He says, I should have listened to my teacher more carefully.
Yes.
It's too late now.
Up to.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Good. Okay. No problems? All right. Now, I want you to get out a pencil because we're going to take some notes. We're going to do a little listening practice, and I want you to take some notes. We're going to watch a video.
Okay.
And I want you to take notes about the video, and then I'm going to ask you some questions. The reason I'm going to show you this video is it's about something that happened in the past, but it happened a long time ago. So people don't know exactly what happened. They can only make guesses about it using may have, might have, could have, should have, right? So I'm going to play the video completely through. It's about 3 minutes long. It's not a long video. It's only 3 minutes. But I'm going to play it for you. You are going to watch it. Take some notes while you're watching. And then I'm going to play it a second time. And I'm going to stop it and ask you some questions about it. Okay? So this is going to be like a note-taking practice. Okay? All right. Are you ready to take some notes?
Yes.
Okay. Got your pencils out? Pencils out, Maria? Jareen? No problem. You're ready to go? Got some note paper? Okay. Very good. Okay. So let me turn on the YouTube here if I can find it. Okay. I've got to, let's see here. ¿Dónde está? Here we go. Okay, just let me get it up here. And then I'm going to share the screen in just a second. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen now. All right. Share screen. Share computer sound. Make video. Okay. Can everybody see a puzzle?
Yes.
Everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to turn off the microphones for a second. And like I said, this is 3 minutes and 36 seconds. So it's not long, but it has a lot of information in it. So be ready to take some notes. And then we're going to play it 2 times. Once with the notes and once just to answer the questions. Okay. So let me put down the mute here. Okay. Everybody's microphone should be off. And let me make sure my sound is on. Okay, good. Okay, here we go.
Deep in the heart of England, by the side of a road, stands a massive stone monument that has mystified visitors for millennia. It is called Stonehenge, and it is an ancient stone circle, older than the pyramids of Giza. What little is known about its history has been pieced together by archaeologists, because it is so old that there is no written record of its construction or of its original purpose. Stonehenge is probably between 4,000 and 5,000 years old, and its construction was spread across hundreds or even thousands of years. It was used, among other things, as a place of burial. Some think it may also have been used as a calendar, or as a place to study the movements of the stars and worship the sun and moon. Although we may never know exactly why Stonehenge was built, most believe it was used for religious ceremonies. The earliest versions of Stonehenge were made of earthworks and ditches, dug with tools made of antlers. This was eventually replaced by some kind of wooden structure, which was replaced in turn by circles of massive standing stones. The stones at Stonehenge were brought there over a period of several hundred years. The largest stones, called sarsens, measure up to 30 feet or 9 meters tall and weigh an average of 25 tons. These stones were probably transported 20 miles or 32 kilometers to Stonehenge. Some of the smaller stones, called blue stones, are believed to have been brought from Wales, more than 140 miles or 225 kilometers away. Although they are smaller than the massive sarsens, the blue stones still weigh an average of 4 tons each, and archaeologists are baffled as to how they were transported so far without modern technology, or even the wheel. Some people think the stones were rolled on tree trunks, or dragged in huge baskets pulled by oxen. Others believe they were moved by boat, with the help of the nearby river Avon. However the stones were moved, they were placed with incredible precision. Certain stones in the ancient circle line up with the midsummer sunrise and the winter solstice sunset, marking the longest and shortest days of the year. Today, Stonehenge is a carefully protected World Heritage Site, visited by about 1 million people each year, and many people still visit Stonehenge at midsummer and midwinter to view the ancient phenomena that marks the rising and the setting of the sun, and wonder at the mysteries Stonehenge still hides. I hope you enjoyed learning about Stonehenge today. Goodbye till next time.
All right. Let's see here. All right, let's turn on everybody's microphone for a second. All right, I'm going to ask you some questions first to see how many things you learned just from the first viewing, and then we're going to watch it again, and I'm going to ask you more questions. Okay, I have my notes right here, so I'm ready to go.
Okay.
All right. According to the video, which is older, Stonehenge or the pyramids of Giza?
Yeah.
The pyramids in Egypt or Stonehenge? Which one is older?
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge.
The pyramid in Giza is so old.
Which one's older? The Stonehenge or the
no,
pyramids?
the pyramid. The pyramid.
The other way around, right? Let's see. All right. How old is this Stonehenge?
4,000.
400, 500 years old.
400 to 5,000, 4,000 to 5,000 years old, right? That's a long time ago. 5,000 years ago. Wow, my goodness. That's before the Bible, right? That's a long time ago. All right. Let's see. How long did it take, do they think it took to build this monument? Anybody catch that? How long it took?
Thousand years.
Could be thousands of years, or could be hundreds of years, right? All right. Now they mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 possible uses of Stonehenge. Right? They mentioned 4 that it might have been used. Right? So what was the first mention that they said?
They have to use for variables, calendars, move to the stars, and what is that?
One more.
I don't
Yeah.
remember that.
All right, but the first one is a burial site. Were they sure about that or not sure?
Not sure about it.
Not sure.
About the burial site? So you think they're not sure? Okay. All right. What about the calendar? Did they say it's possible or for sure?
For sure.
Calendar, yeah.
I don't know.
They weren't sure. Okay. And what did they use it to study? Probably.
Yeah, I think probably.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, don't worry if you don't have everything right now. There was a lot of information in this video, right?
Yeah.
They mentioned 3 different materials that they used over the years, right? They mentioned the first it was this, second it was this, and third it was that. All right. The third obviously is the stones, right? That's the third one, was the stones. But what were the 2 other ones before that? Did you catch that? They had 3 different materials that they used. First, second, and third.
Bookstone.
No, okay, we'll have to listen for that. Okay, I want you to listen listen for that. Okay, and they have, how many different kinds of stones do they have there?
They have big. It's a circle and a small stones.
They have two kinds of stones, right? The very big, tall stones and the round ones, right? The smaller ones. All right. Where did the big stones come from?
To 25 towns.
25 miles away, right? 20 miles away. 20 miles away. And they weighed about 25 tons, right? And how tall were they?
It's no, I can't
get that? Okay, no problem. All right. What, the smaller stones came from closer or farther away?
Far away.
Farther away. How far away were the small stones from?
They think 30 way kilometers. It's a 40, no? 40.
Okay, we'll listen for that a little
40.
more. Okay. They had 3 theories. They had 3 theories about how the stones were transported, right?
Yeah.
What were the 3 ways they mentioned? They said 3 ideas. They weren't sure. They said, it might have been this, or it could have been that, or it may have been this, right? What was the first way they said?
It's removed by the boat.
Well, boat was one of them. That's good. That was the third one that they mentioned. They might have used a boat on the river to move the stones, right? Okay, that was one idea. Second idea?
Rolling tree?
Rolling with a tree. Yeah, very good. And the third idea? All right, there's something more to listen to on the second time. All right. And when is the most popular time to visit this place?
Midsummer.
Midsummer, or there are two popular times. In the middle of the summer and we'll see. All right. All right. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad for just the first time, right? That shows me your listening is pretty good, because there was a lot of information in that, right? Okay, so let's go through it step by step by step, and let me ask you the questions a second time and see if we're more clear. Okay. All right. So let me go back to the video. Okay, and I'm going to turn off your microphones for just a second. I'm going to play just a little bit, and then I'm going to ask you a question, all right? But I'm going to turn off your microphones for a second while we play the beginning again. Okay, all right, microphones are off. All right, let me play this video a second time here.
It all started just weeks ago, when I stumbled across something most people couldn't even imagine.
Deep in the heart of England, by the side of a road, stands a massive stone monument that has mystified visitors for millennia. It is called Stonehenge, and it is an ancient stone circle older than the pyramids of Giza. What little is known about its history has been pieced together by archaeologists, because it is so old that there is no written record of its construction or of its original purpose.
Okay, let's stop there. Let me put your microphones back on for a second. All right. Microphones back on. Everybody's mic back on. Let me see. Mute. All right, everybody's mic is back on, yes? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so did we decide it's older or it's newer than the pyramids?
It's
Older.
the
Older.
stone monument is more older than
The pyramids. That's right, older. And why don't they know more about this structure? Why don't they know more about it? Well, let me ask it this way. Are there any written records of this structure?
No.
No. That's why they don't know anything about it, because they just found it there, right? Nobody knows where it came from. Nobody knows where it was put. So the only way they can know about it is by making guesses, thinking what might have, could have, or may have happened in this place, right? Because they don't know, because nobody wrote anything down. Nobody wrote anything down. All right, let's watch another 30 seconds of the video.
Stonehenge is probably between 4,000 and 5,000 years old, and its construction was spread across hundreds or even thousands of years. It was used, among other things, as a place of burial. Some think it may also have been used as a calendar, or as a place to study the movements of the stars and worship the sun and moon.
Okay. All right. So what did they say was the age?
5 or 4,000.
4,000 or
5,000
5,000 years old, right? 4,000 or 5,000 years old. And how long did it take to build? They don't know for sure, but they think at least how long? At least what? At least hundreds of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe
more than 500,000.
Maybe thousands of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It took at least hundreds of years to build, and maybe thousands of years, right? Mm-hmm. And they mentioned the 4 things that they used it for. One that they're pretty sure about was
the arrival site.
burial. Everybody know that word, burial?
Burial? No.
No, burial.
Like in the cemetery, right?
Oh.
Right? Well, what do you do with the body in the cemetery? You bury the body, right? Does everybody know that word?
No.
No.
Let me put it on the board here for a second. All right, here we go. Over here. Can everybody see the board?
Yes.
Right? The verb is to bury, right? And the word that they used in the video was a burial site. Right? Right? When somebody dies, you have your funeral, and then you go to the cemetery and you bury the body, right? So they say it was used as a burial site. A burial site. How do you think they knew it was a burial site? What did they probably find there?
They might have found a body, a person.
Maybe not the whole body, but they must have found some bones, right?
Yeah.
Because the bones do not disappear, right? Right. That's why you sometimes find old skeletons that are thousands of years old, right? So they must have found some bones in this area. Like that's how we know there were dinosaurs, right? We found the bones, right? So they must have found bones in this area. So that's how they know it was a burial site. They know it was a burial site. And what were the other three? There was one they said maybe they used it as what?
Calendar.
A calendar, right? They might have used it as a calendar, right? And they said they may have used it to study something. What did they may have used it to study?
It must have moved to the stars.
The stars, right? They might have used it to study the stars. And they probably used it for what?
We see that?
Now listen to that last part one more time.
Calendar, or as a place to study the movements of the stars and worship the sun and moon.
So did you hear that word worship?
Yeah, worship.
You know that word worship?
No.
Worship is what you do in church, right? You worship. So these people were sun and moon worshipers, right? They didn't believe in God, but they worshiped the sun and the moon. Right? Let me put that word on the board. Right? So the four uses were burial site, calendar, right? Place to study the movement of stars, and a place of worship of the sun and moon. Right? A place of worship. This word, worship. Have you seen that word before?
No.
Worship.
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 Yeah, I don't know the word in Spanish, to be honest. Worship. It's what you do in church. In church, you worship God. Worship. It's like praise. Worship. All right. No problem. Okay. Back to the video. All right. Let's listen to the next 30 seconds.
Although we may never know exactly why Stonehenge was built, most believe it was used for religious ceremonies.
Okay, so why did most people believe it was used?
Religious ceremony.
Religious ceremonies, that's right.
The earliest versions of Stonehenge were made of earthworks and ditches dug.
Okay, there's the earliest version was made of what?
The ditches.
What did they say it was made of? They didn't use rocks in the first version. Well, what did they say?
Mm.
The earliest versions of Stonehenge were made of earthworks and ditches dug.
What did they have?
Earthworks and ditches.
Ditches.
Yeah, they said it was made of, going back here. Do you see the board now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know why my marker's not working. Forget it. It's stuck.
Mm.
All right. I don't know. I'm just getting this. That doesn't help us at all. All right. Anyway, they said earthworks and ditches. Earthworks. Right.
Earthworks.
Let me write it down.
Earthworks and ditches.
Right. Can you see that?
Earthworks.
Earthworks and ditches. Right? Earthworks means something made of dirt, right? And a ditch is a hole in the ground, right? A long hole in the ground. So in other words, they were just digging, right? They didn't have anything special. They made a little pile of dirt, right? Of the earth. So they had earthworks and ditches in the first version, okay? All right, let's listen for the second version. All right.
Dug with tools made of antlers. This was eventually replaced by some kind of wooden structure, which was replaced in.
Okay, so the second structure was made of what? Did you hear that?
And ditches dug with tools made of antlers. This was eventually replaced by some kind of wooden structure.
So what was the structure made of?
Wood.
Right, madera, wood.
Wood.
Yeah, they said it was wood, right? So first it was earth, then it was wood, and then it was stone, right? Earth, wood, stone.
Which was replaced in turn by circles of massive standing stones. The stones at Stonehenge were brought there over a period of several hundred years. The largest stones, called sarsens, measure up to 30 feet or 9 meters tall and weigh an average of 25 tons.
Okay, so what are the big stones called?
Sarsen.
Sarsens. And how tall are they?
30 feet.
9 meters.
30 feet. And how much do they weigh?
9 meters.
For a ton.
25 tons, right?
Okay.
Does everybody know ton? T-O-N?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, ton is 2,000 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the big stones weigh like 50,000 pounds, right? Very, very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
These stones were probably transported 20 miles or 32 kilometers to Stonehenge. Some of the smaller stones, called blue stones, are believed to have been brought from Wales, more than 140 miles or 225 kilometers away.
So do the big stones or the small stones are from far away?
Water.
The small stones are from far away. The big stones are from only 25 miles away, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as you see here, it says 140 miles is the small stones.
Yeah.
140 miles away. That's a long way. That's like from here to, I don't know, Santa Barbara or San Diego, right? That's a long way away. So
Although they are smaller than the massive sarsens, The blue stones still weigh an average of 4 tons each.
4 tons, that's 8,000 pounds. 8,000 pounds. That's a lot of weight, right? So how did they get there? Here's the
Archaeologists
3
are baffled
ideas.
as to how they were transported so far without modern technology, or even the wheel.
Right? They didn't even have a wheel. So,
Some people think the stones were rolled on tree trunks.
okay, there's the first one. What's the idea? Maybe rolled on tree trunks. You know what it is, a tree trunk?
Mm-mm.
The trunk of the tree is the main part of the tree, right? A tree has 3 parts: the roots, the trunk, and the branches, right? The main section of the tree is called the trunk. So what does it say? They were rolled on tree trunks. So maybe what did they do? They cut down a tree and they put 2 or 3 trees together and just rolled it. Okay?
Okay.
And here's the next idea.
Or dragged in huge baskets pulled by oxen.
All right. What's the second idea? Maybe
Got huge basket.
they were put in baskets and dragged by oxen. Dragged by oxen. Right? Do you know oxen?
Okay.
Do you know what an ox is? Ox is like a working cow. Right? Let me show you a picture. Okay. Let me share. Right? Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the cow.
Yeah. That's called an ox.
It's a special
It's
cow.
like it's a special cow that pulls things, right? It's special for working, right? The cow just sits in the field and gives milk, right? But this kind of cow is working, right? It's a working kind of cow. It's called an ox, right?
Teacher, and how many acts that or to put stones on the cycle?
How many to pull the stones?
Yeah.
I don't know. Take a lot, I think. If they're 4,000 pounds, or what did they say, 8,000 pounds?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Four.
they're gonna have to get a
25.
lot of ox together to do that, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Animals.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right. Let's finish up this story now. Okay, let me do that. Okay. Donde está? Okay, back to the video. All right. Do you see the video now or not?
Yes.
You see the video?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let's watch the rest of the video. Got 1 more minute to go here. Button is not pushing. What's going on? Just a second here.
It all started just weeks ago when I stumbled across something most people couldn't even imagine. Destruction, death, on a massive scale like you would never even believe.
I don't see anything.
Within days of releasing the footage, our team went viral, where we are now fighting the...
All right, let's try again here.
Yes.
All right, hold on
Very good,
here.
that one.
Okay, there's our friend Rebecca. Well, we won't worry about her right now. Let's see.
Interesting story.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good story, right?
Yeah, beautiful story.
What part of the story are you on right now?
35.
Okay.
35.
Has the father passed away yet?
Yes.
Oh, I did
With
not.
age.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, we ruined the story for you. Okay, sorry. We'll be quiet.
Don't meet the
Mm.
No secrets.
Yeah.
Don't tell Mommy any secrets.
Yeah,
All right.
please.
Firstly, they were moved by boat with the help of the nearby river Avon.
All right. So there's the third idea, right?
Mhm.
So the first idea was on the trees. Second was in a basket, and the third one was in a boat, right?
However the stones were moved, they were placed with incredible precision. Certain stones in the ancient circle line up with the midsummer sunrise and the winter solstice sunset.
So what the stones line up with what? The sunrise,
The
and
mid sunrise in
the-
the winter.
the sunrise in summer and the sunset in winter, right?
Mhm.
So the sun goes right through the hole in the stones,
Marking the longest and shortest days of the year.
right? So here's the sun, and it goes right into the area, right?
Today, Stonehenge is a carefully protected World Heritage Site, visited by about 1 million people each year.
How many people visit?
A million.
Million of people.
1 million. 1 million people.
Many
right?
people still visit Stonehenge at midsummer and midwinter to view the ancient phenomena that marks the rising and the setting of the sun, and wonder at the mysteries Stonehenge still hides. I hope you enjoyed learning about Stonehenge today. Goodbye till next time.
Goodbye. All right. So, you see, this is a classic case where we want to use must have, may have, might have, and could have, right? Because we are making assumptions about the past. We don't know for sure, but we think we know what happened, right? Or sometimes there's 2 or 3 ideas. So it might have been this, it could have been that, it may have been this, right? How did they get those stones from one place to another? It was 140 miles. I don't know. They might have pushed them on trees. They could have used oxen, or they may have put the stones on a boat, right? Could have, might have, may have, right? That's when we use that kind of form, because we're explaining what we think happened. I'm not sure, but I think that's what happened. So, for example, the stones lined up very carefully with the sun. We say, oh, they must have used this site to have a ceremony for the sun, right? They must have used this site for a ceremony. Nobody knows that. Nobody wrote it down, but they say, aha, it lines up exactly with the sunrise. So it must have been used for this purpose, right? I don't know what happened, but I think I know. Okay? No problem. We feel good about should have, might have, may have, could have.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes, I understand better. Thank
All
you.
right, good. Okay, so that's enough for today. And then like I said, later today, the second part of the level 6 test will be ready. If you're in level 5, the test is already there. At level 4, the test is already there. And in level 6, the first part 1 is there right now. So you can start doing part 1 right now if you want to. Okay?
Okay.
All right, no problems. Everybody happy?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Don't panic about the test. Remember, just do your best and lo que será, será, as they say in Spanish, right? I don't know how they say that in Japanese or Thai.
What me?
Lo que será, será means whatever will be, will be.
Oh.
Whatever will be, will be. Right? You cannot change it. So don't worry about it too much. We'll look at your scores, and Miss Aguirre and I will talk about it and talk about your performance, talk about your attendance, and then we'll talk to you. And then we don't want to put you any place where you don't want to be. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, everybody feel good?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Webb.
All right. All right, we're done. Finished.
Okay.
All right,
Bye,
so
bye.
we'll talk to you again on Thursday, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And if you want to get started on that test, you can start now or try to get it done by the weekend, okay?
Okay.
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 Me too.
Or at least
Okay, thank you.
by Sunday if possible, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
Mr. Webb.
everyone.
See you later.